Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're cracking open New Jersey Resources Corporation's latest quarterly filing. Prepare for a deep dive where we'll uncover not just what they're saying, but what the numbers really mean. Let's see if they're cooking with gas or just blowing smoke. And if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed and consider joining our Discord community linked in the description below. NJR, or New Jersey Resources Corporation, just filed their report for the quarter ended in March. That means we're getting an inside look at how they performed and what they see coming down the pipeline. First things first, the period we are focusing on is the quarter that ended March 31, 2025. It's important to keep that in mind as we go through the details, since that date defines the scope of what the report tells us. Okay, let's dive into the numbers. Net income is up, which is always a good start. For the 3 months ended in March, they pulled in $204.3 million data compared to $120.28 million the year before. And for 6 months ended in March, net income was $345.6 million the year before. Earnings per share also jumped, so not bad. Where's all this extra income coming from? Well, operating revenues are up. For the quarter, they brought in $913 million versus $657.09, and for 6 months ended in March, operating revenues were $1.4 billion compared to $1.1 billion the year before. Let's check if the cash is actually flowing or if it's all on paper. Looks like cash from operating activities increased too. They have $14 million in cash from operation for 6 months compared to $388.6 million last year. That's a healthy sign. Now, let's check some expenses and see how they handled their investments. Property, plant and equipment were at $5.5 billion compared to $5.4 billion. So they're adding some to the balance sheet, growing the asset base. And how are they funding all this? Common stock equity increased to $2.4 billion compared to $222. So they are taking on more debt in long run. It would be great if their equity would have increased while debt decreased. But at least their financials looks healthy. Now, they report revenue based on how they deliver to customers. The unbilled revenue estimates are based on estimated customer usage by customer type, weather effects, and the most current tariff rates. So where is all of this coming from and how are they managing it? Well, it's pretty simple. NJNG provides natural gas utility sales, but other units in the firm provide things like commercial electricity and gas services. ES in particular generates Revuelaso Vicrifty and gas services. ES in particular generates reliable gas delivery with more volatile renewable services. So they diversified well to capture different streams. Let's check cash equivalents, because the big guys like to hide cash in odd places. To clarify, what they consider cash includes cash on deposit and temporary investments with maturities of 3 months or less, which isn't the same as a long-term hold. They conveniently provided a scroll-to-friendly schedule of restricted cash for their cash flow statement that clears it up. Cash and cash equivalents are actually around $84 million. Cash flow is the lifeblood of every firm, so let's check out their supplemental disclosures of cash flow and see what they pay for with that cash. Paid $65 million in interest and $6 million on income taxes. If we compared that to the amount on hand, 84M, it means they can handle a year or so. Here's an interesting section, fair value measurement. When we're talking about how well a company is doing, it's important to also consider how they report different assets and liabilities. This section is all about how they determine fair values, and they follow a very standard method for over-the-counter physical forward commodity contracts and swap contracts. Let's go back to accounting policies, since that is the place that describes how they view revenue. For everything else that isn't the financials, it seems like NJR has a standard clean quarter, no major legal proceedings or changes to company risk factors. That gives me more confidence in the numbers above, since that suggests those numbers are due to real business events, not accounting shenanigans. What are we seeing from New Jersey Resources? The most important point is that their primary business, natural gas distribution, NJNG, is still where a ton of the bread and butter is. Also, let's check their non-core operations that would give a little extra return. Looking at the Clean Energy Ventures CEV, things are less impressive. All in all, NJR faces some pretty standard risks, and the report does highlight some real headwinds, especially in managing costs and navigating regulatory landscapes. It's crucial to watch how NJR manages its cost structure with rising inflation and the ever-looming changes in regulations that keep getting passed. So New Jersey Resources shows a lot of potential. It is, after all, one of the oldest and most stable sectors in energy. Just keep in mind to watch the risks in their report and look at how well their non-core assets play out. This will decide their future. Alright, that's our breakdown of New Jersey Resources Corporation's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Also, don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.